Hey, Kevin here, top 100 financial advisor, two-time author, one-time bestseller, and we are here to talk about the stock market. Today, I want to give you three quick tips to help you determine whether or not a company that you are investing in is good or bad. Now, this is not a comprehensive list. Why is it not comprehensive? Number one, we can't tell the future. Number two, these are just very quick and simple things that you can implement pretty quickly to help you decide, like, this is probably a good company, this is probably not a good company. And again, these are shortcuts. These are not, rules written in stone, and that 100% of the time you're going to be in the right spots. This is to say that more often than not, you're going to be in the right spots. Excuse me, by following a lot of these rules. So the first one is don't invest in anything that's $5 or below. And the rule is simple, and I'll show you why here in just a second. But anecdotally, a lot of people for some reason have a misconception that Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, all of them started really, really, really cheap, like $1 or $5. That's not necessarily the truth. Now, cheap is always relative, right? So, for example, Amazon, when it debuted in 1997, they started off at $18 a share. Now they're like 3,000 plus. So yeah, it was cheap, but wasn't a dollar. That's two different things, right? Google is what, more than $1,500 a share. It's probably $2,000 a share. It's up there, right? It started off at $85 a share. Still cheap, but that $85 and a dollar, two separate things. $85 and $5, two completely separate things. So the chances that you are to find a stock that's $5 and it becomes a thing, and that is something that lasts, not something that popped and then immediately fell off within 2 weeks or a week or even a month, is really, really rare. It's why GameStop is as astounding as it is, because it's been months now. It started off really, really cheap, $5 or so. It shot up to $400, crashed, and now it's a hundred and so dollars and some change. So it's strange, but this is why it's strange, because they almost never happen. And we'll see what happens after this, right? So the GameStop stories of the world are very, very rare. As Kodak, as Hertz, I bring those up all the time. As Tilray, right? They don't happen often. So you really got to be careful of thinking about like hitting a lotto ticket, because investing in the stock market is not a lotto ticket, and it doesn't work like that where you just find something that's really cheap. I look at it like this: the chance that you are going to find a real diamond engagement ring at a 7-Eleven for $2 is rare. That's really what this looks like when you think about it. Like, oh look, I'm gonna find the next Google and it's $2.50 a share. Oh, I'm just snapping up everything. Like, no, it's probably not. It's probably not. It's probably made of plastic or something, right? So you just got to be careful about that type of thing. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'll share the screen real quick and just give you my three quick tips. So number one, as I mentioned, don't buy nothing that's $5 a share or below. Now, that don't mean that every stock that's $5 is absolute trash. It's just the vast majority of the time. I'm thinking like 97% of the time is probably not going to be good. Now, that does not mean that the higher it is, the higher quality is. So it doesn't mean that a $200 stock is better than a $100 stock. No, it is just yes or no. Is it above $5 or no? If it's below, that's just absolute no. If it is above $5, we'll take a look. Okay, that's all that means is we'll take a look. All right, so we're looking at IBM. I just typed it in here. It's one of the first things that came up. I don't know why it's trending, but we'll look and see. All right, so it's above $5. Clearly, it's 133. Okay, so that's number one. Is it above $5 a share? Yes. We can move on to number two. Number two is it better than the S&P 500, which is just the market? The S&P 500 is, and I've said it over and over again, it's the largest 500 companies in the U.S. If you can beat the S&P 500, I am interested in this company. If you cannot, then I'm no longer interested, because I can just go get SPY or VOO. These are index ETFs, mind my business, and not have to worry about this. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to hit full screen. I usually default to a year just to give me like a good view of what's going on. And I'll click out of this real quick. So right now, just looking at IBM by itself, this is pretty jagged. I don't know if it's good or not because I don't know what the market is doing. So now I'm gonna go to here, compare, S&P 500, and there we go. 44% is what the market could do compared to just 11%. So no, right now, before even going to step 3, I'm not buying IBM. I don't care. But I can take on less risk and get something that made me 44% in the last year versus something that just got me 11%. What am I doing here? For what? Why? It makes no sense for me to invest in something that is 4 times worse in terms of return. I don't even think the dividends that IBM pays, and I'm assuming they pay a dividend, I don't even think that can make up a 33% gap here. So the answer is no for me based on this alone. But just to show you how this process works for me, and this is my process, I'm going to go ahead and go to number 3. So number 3 would be coming here to public. Public is not the only place that you can do this. Well, depending on what we're looking at. So I like to bring up the company, scroll down, and read some of the stories that they have, see what's going on. IBM was trending for some reason, maybe want to figure out why. So I'm going to go here, read some of this stuff. You can read more if you have the public link. I'll make sure I have it in the bio. And then, and this is only on public that you can get this, all the way down here, I can start to see what people are doing with the company. So this person, they invested the last 53 days, they made a little bit of money. Somebody just invested, I don't know why you would sell why you sold twice and you only invested for 2 hours. That's strange. So I would kind of scan and see, are there a lot of people buying? Are there a lot of people selling? This right here is probably the smallest factor, whether or not I'm going to invest, because you never know what people's goals are. You can see, which is great, how long they've been invested. So it kind of gives me an idea, like I might want to hold this for 50 days or 60 days. I might not want to hold this for just 2 hours, but I like to come here, read the news, see who's buying, see if people are making money off of this or not. So that's the great parts of using this. So step 1, is it $5 or more? Step 2, compare to the S&P 500. Step 3, check the news. You can do this on public, and then you can only do this on public. Check to see, are people making money off the stock and how long have they been holding? The reason why you want to do that, and the good thing about doing it that way, is you set your expectations in the right spot. Because a lot of people see, oh, I was going to the moon. I see the rocket emojis. Well, the advantage of seeing it on public is to see when people buy or sell, you can see whether or not they made money, and you can see whether or not they've been in it for a while. So if I get into something, I did my research, I looked at the news, it did beat the S&P 500, and I see people are making money from it, and it'll tell me they've been in for 180 days or 6 months. They've been in for a year. They were in it for 2 hours. That's going to help tell me like what my expectations should be. Not that it's going to predict the future, but if I start to see somebody made 50%, and they were in it for, let's say, I don't know, 60 days, that tells me that if I want to get close to that, I should probably wait at least 60 days. Whatever happens is not going to happen in the next 6 hours. Okay. So those are my 3 very, very quick checks. Number 1, is it above $5? Yes or no? Number 2, is it above the S&P 500? Yes or no? Number 3, I'm going to public, I'm reading the news, and I'm checking to see who's buying and who's selling, and if people are making money on that stock. It is not the end all be all. It is not the 100% foolproof way of investing, but it's something very quick that everybody can do as a beginner to help you to be in the right spots more often than not. Because by default, you're going to see people get the Apples and the Amazons and the Microsofts of the world, and those have done very, very well. What you don't want to do is get these $5 stocks that you have not ever heard of, or jump into something that is good, but then hop out of something because you didn't know that it wasn't going to do something it wasn't going to do what you expected it to do. You want to go into it coming in with the right expectation. My expectation is always 6 months. Okay, it is almost always 6 months. The only time it's not, so I know I'm in a short-term trade. I'm looking to get in at this price. If it doesn't go to that price, I know when to get out. That's it. But I have the expectation. Whenever I get in, I have the right expectations. Either one, if I'm long-term, you got until June, you either beat the S&P 500 or you don't. If you don't, you're gone. If you do, you stay until the next round. When I'm trading, I've got, you guys know I've talked about this before, you got two prices. Either you will hit my target goal and it automatically sells out, or you lose enough money where I'll say, okay, I'm good with this. It's already set up. I have my stop loss and it's done. My expectations are always in place. You don't want to jump into something where you don't know what those expectations are. Public can help you do that because you can see when people sold, how long they were in it, and that helps your expectations and say, okay, well, if I do this, I read the news, I saw it beat the S&P 500. Everybody that's really making a lot of money, they've been in it for 8 weeks. They've been in it for 2 weeks. Whatever that number is, you can start to set your expectations and come back and reevaluate there. All right, that's it for me. Talk to you guys later.